All right, I didn't plan this at the beginning, but just gonna go over. I'm doing all the big three. I already did bench and squat, kind of like a little tutorial for people before the New Year's resolutions start. And so, if they have any powerlifting aspirations or just general lifting goals, they can watch these videos and have a little bit better start of how to set up properly and how to do these. So, first thing first. If you have the option, or if you in your gym, you probably have to wear footwear. So you could deadlift fine in socks, but most gyms aren't going to allow you to do that. So I have wrestling shoes on. Okay, that's my new preferred way to do it. But I've also used, even in competitions, I've used these Reebok CrossFit shoes. They're basically like Chucks. Okay, just a little sturdier. But the whole point is you want a flat sole. Okay, you don't want a really thick sole because it's going to raise you up higher, your movement has to be longer to compensate, but you want it flat. You don't want a heel, if at all possible, that's going to tilt you forward. Okay, like most running shoes are really squishy too. So, and there's some other brands too, like these are my Noble trainers, but they're a little bit higher, and they're a little, I don't know if these are raised much, but you know, the toe is raised a little bit, but something like this, you know. So if you're not going to do like a wrestling shoe, maybe you don't even have any, you could always do like Chucks or something like that. Anyway, now second phase. So we're going to set up for deadlifting. When I started powerlifting 5 years ago, this particular lift went up the most right away. And a lot of it was because I wasn't deadlifting a whole lot prior to doing some powerlifting. I was doing a lot of other things that would help the muscle groups, like what would be considered accessory movements, like squatting. I would do some glute ham raises. I did a lot of pull, like real true pulling, like pull-ups and rope pulls, which I would recommend. Actually, even after my career, I started doing stuff more with the ropes. I wish I had done that during the time for enhanced grip strength. I think doing most of your pulls with ropes helps added grip strength. So anyway, but it increased the most, you know. So I competed at 132 coming in, and you know, I had to diet down and cut a little bit of weight, but there's also a 24-hour weigh-in. But I went from deadlifting probably about 420-ish, somewhere around there, to within, you know, a few months, I was deadlifting 500 pounds. And then over the next few years after that, I got up all the way up to 551. So, and actually hit about 550 in a meet. So anyway, which there's a little trickier criteria. The way you lift the weight is important. You know, you can't ramp it up and stuff like that. So you have to have good form. So form is very important. Okay, basically from an efficiency standpoint, so you can lift more weight, but also from the standpoint of keeping your back safe, because you're going to put a lot of stress, no matter, even if you have perfect form, on your lower back and SI joint. It's just inevitable, especially when you're doing it at a level of like where you're maybe trying to compete in powerlifting or maxing out. You're going to put stress, so you want your form to be dialed in. Okay, so we're going to go over that, and then I'm going to do a few reps and talk about it briefly, but I'm just going to go over the form just so you know how to set up. All right, and today I'm not going very heavy. This is only like 65-70% of my max. I'm just going to do it so I can grip it normal, like double overhand grip like this. I don't want to do mixed grip like this. Okay, I could also do something heavier someday where I do it that way, because you're going to want to. If you go over 70% max, you probably can't hang on to the bar anymore. So you're either going to have to do one of two things usually. You're going to have to do mixed grip, one over, one under, to hold onto the bar, or you're going to have to do hook grip, okay, where you're basically reaching over and grabbing your thumbs on the bar, so you can have double hand. Okay, so this way is easier on your lower back because you're not what they call helicoptering. You're not twisting the bar sometimes. Which I don't think happens that much anyway, but you could have a little bit because you have some asymmetry going on. But this, I found out, because when I tried to do hook grip, is I ended up having nerve damage for a while in my thumbs, because it's just, you know, and people could argue like, oh, you're just not doing it the right way. And I was like, well, I use my thumbs a lot as a personal trainer, so I don't want to hurt my thumbs. It's very important to me, you know, that I stop doing that. So anyway, we're not doing that today. We're just going at an intensity where I can just double overhand grab it, and I'm working my grip a little bit more that way. So, all right, we'll set up. We're gonna start at feet and move up. All right, so when you're setting up, first thing, we're gonna start with feet, okay? You're gonna step in. I'm most comfortable with my feet hip width. If you're gonna do a sumo deadlift, then you're gonna want your feet wider, okay? But that's not the case with me. I'm doing what they call conventional deadlift today, okay? So my feet, I'm setting up so they're hip width, right? The other thing I'm setting my feet up is half of my foot is on the back side and half of it's on the other side. So I look at both of my feet and so half is in front, half is in back, okay? That's how you want to set up your feet. Now, the next thing is I'm going to grab the bar without bending my knees yet, okay? I don't want to push it forward, okay? So I'm going to grab it, and yeah, my back's around it right now, but I'm going to correct that here in a second. So I'm going to get the grip that I want, double overhand, okay? And I'm bringing my arms in like this and make them nice and long, almost like, pretend like you're covering your armpits, okay? And you're going to keep your chest up, and then gradually come up into the bar. I'm keeping everything tight, through my hips, just like that. I'm keeping my arms long. I'm contracting my lats to keep my chest up. Okay, now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this really tight. My upper back, my back is tight, because I'm just going to keep that solid. From my butt to my head, I'm keeping that straight line. Okay, so it's not rounding forward. All right, but I'm not bending my arms. Okay. Keeping everything solid, okay, because I'm going to push my feet through the floor. That's what I'm imagining doing. Okay, so the initial phase of the deadlift, okay, is more like a push. I know a lot of times they say, oh, good pull when they're talking about deadlift. The first phase is almost like if you were put a limited motion on leg press at a gym. Okay, you're going to push really hard into the floor as you maintain your position in your upper body. Okay, so right here, I'm going to push through the floor, and then after I hit about right here, I'm going to start to hinge my hips. Okay, so what I mean by that is I'm down here, flat like this. Okay, I'm going to start to hinge my hips. Okay, so I'm right here, and then I'm driving my hips to the bar, stand up, nice and tall. Okay, so first part, push your feet through the floor, and then hinge at the hips. Okay, I'm not going to round up my upper back. So I'm setting up again. Keep my feet where I want them. They're in the right spot. Okay, I'm going to grab the bar without bending my legs yet. I'm going to slowly cover my armpits up, keep my chest up, dial it in, track my hips, keep them nice and solid. Okay, push my feet through the floor and then hinge my hips. Last phase, right before that, is I'm going to breathe in through my nose and really make that my core that I talked about when I was doing squats from here to here, pushing out forward and back, making my base really thick and strong. Okay, so I'm going to do that at the very end. And that's enough for right now. But you can see that's double underhand. So even though my face is red right now, that's because I'm contracting so hard and keeping my core solid because I don't want any movement through my hips and lose some energy. So that's how you set up. Okay. So if you did mixed grip or hook grip, you'd be able to go a little heavier, and you just have to be more aware of, not twisting the bar or anything like that. But the setup is still the same. Start at your feet, okay? Get your feet set. Reach down, grab it. Don't bend your knees, at least not yet. As you get into the right position, then your knees are going to be, you're eventually going to bend your knees. But you're not pushing that bar forward, okay? You don't want to push it forward so it's tipping you forward, and then you're just out of position. Even if you were able to push through and do the weight, you're hurting yourself, okay? You're getting too much rounding through your back, and that's not the point. The point is to make you stronger, right? We don't want to put you in a bad position so you hurt yourself. So anyway, I hope that helped. If you have more questions, you guys can always contact me on Facebook Messenger. Hope that helped.